Our program will start now, so a few more people are about to join, so we were waiting for that.
Okay.
No issue.
You can give the intro. No
Yeah,
issue.
sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
You can go
so,
ahead. I
yes,
am in
ma'am.
line. I'm just listening.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you. So,
Are
very
you
good
hearing
morning.
me?
So, very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the weekend online workshop on mobile app development organized by EEE Department, Galgodia College of Engineering and Technology. I hope all of you are staying safe in this pandemic situation. This program is intended to impart practical knowledge to the students and professionals. It will be very helpful in order to increase job-ready professionals in the campus. Lastly, it is a small addition in order to fulfill our institute's commitment towards developing world-class professionals and a small contribution to the society. In today's world, industry-academic collaboration is must. So, we are actively engaged with various industry professionals, and today we have invited an industry veteran in app development to deliver this lecture. We have chosen app development as this is the most vital skill for any professionals today. Everyone knows the success of software apps such as Uber, Flipkart, etc., which are more than 80,000 crores company now. This will be great value addition to your skills and help you to find a job or start your own company. This program is sponsored by Steel Learning, who is expert in software development and delivers multiple courses. Mr. Gaurav Kumar is the founder of Steel Learning and has an extensive background in app development. He will be taking today's seminar. Let me thank our director, Dr. Bijesh Kumar Singh. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this opportunity. Further, my special thanks goes to our HOD ma'am, Dr. A. Ambika Pathy, for inspiring me to organize this program and helping me throughout the course. I hope to do the same in future with her cooperation. Thank you so much, ma'am. Also, I would request you to say a few words further. So, please, ma'am, please start. Now I request HOD ma'am, Ambika Pathy.
Just 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Very warm welcome to all of you, dear students, faculties, Anamika ma'am, organizer, and Mr. Gaurav sir. And first of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Anamika ma'am for organizing such a nice event and very much useful in this situation for the students. Like when they are staying at home, they will get definitely a lot of time, so they can apply their mind for making mobile applications. So thank you, ma'am, and I further extend my gratitude to Gaurav sir. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and enlightening our students with your knowledge. And I hope all the achievements will utilize this. And I'm also very much excited to know each and everything how to make an application. So I'll be attending this complete session. I welcome you, sir, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you for attending our students. Thank you so much.
Yes, there are certain rules of the programs. I want to convey all the participants that this program is around 1.5 hours long, and please don't leave program in between. And if you are having any queries or questions, please write down in the chat box below or keep it with you and ask at the end of the program only. Thank you for the cooperation. And Gaurav sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So today we will talk about how to create application for Android and iOS mobile using a simple web application, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I believe most of you knows HTML, CSS at least, and JavaScript as well. If not, then it's very easy to learn, and you can learn within 2 to 3 days, right? And apart from these two keywords that I have written, Cordova and Angular, this is quite difficult rather than HTML, CSS. So you can learn in couple of days. But I will just give you overview and also overview of mobile application, right? So as I was talking about earlier, that few keywords, that hybrid and native, what it is, how you can create a native application, how you can create a hybrid application, what is PhoneGap, what is Apache Cordova, what is capacitor, how you can use it, and all these languages, Angular, React, and Vue.js. Okay, and also I will show you how you can create using application using Ionic framework. Okay, so other framework I will not touch in today's session, like Flutter, React Native, Xamarin, or SAP UI5, right? Most of you have heard about SAP. SAP is a separate domain that this is a company as well. Okay, software company as well. They have a UI framework that is called SAP UI5, or it also called Open UI5. So using that you can create a mobile application as well, right? So we'll talk about this later as well. And I've already spoken about progressive web app, right? So first we'll talk about mobile application gap. So nowadays we use more than 100 applications in our mobile application, right? So this is our daily needs. Someone is using for TikTok, someone using for selfie, someone using for a company perspective, or someone using for a different purpose, right? When you talk about a company's perspective, right? So company needs different kind of applications to monitor their works, their a human force, or lots of things they have to manage, right? But what about the delivery? So still we need lots of mobile applications, because more than 40 million users are using mobile nowadays, right? So we will talk about mobile application gap. So back in early days of mobile, actually there was really only one way to give users the performance and features they expected, right? So you have to use a native SDK. It's Android SDK or iOS SDK. What is SDK? I'll just give you a brief. It's a software development kit, right? For Android, you have to use Android software development kit, and for iOS, you have to use iOS development kit. And of course, this comes with some trade-offs, and the trade-offs is like building application in parallel for each mobile platform. When you create application, you need to target both users, Android and iOS, and also a website as well that I have not written here. I'm just talking about mobile. So you have to target both the audience, right? So you have to write code for both the application for Android and iOS, right? And it's parallelly. Other thing is hiring and retaining highly specialized and costly native developer for each platform. So when you talk about creating or developing mobile application, you have to hire a specialized and costly native developer. When I say native developer, means I will talk about what it means. What is native? What is native development and what is hybrid development, right? So I'll talk about it. So, but the developer should be highly specialized, and it will be costly, obviously, right? And next is managing multiple code base. So obviously, when you create a mobile application for Android, there will be a separate code. When you create the same application in iOS, it will be a separate code. And when you create a website, then or web application, then there will be a separate code, right? So you have to manage multiple code base. So according to Gartner is a publisher. So according to Gartner, within most enterprises, demand for mobile application is growing 5 times faster than internal mobile application development team can actually deliver. So as Gartner recognized that the demand of mobile application is 5 times faster that actually we deliver. So you can understand the demand of mobile application. It's a huge demand, right? So why we will go to hybrid, right? I understand you have to think about what is hybrid. Before that, we'll do why we will go to hybrid. Basically, hybrid apps are essentially a native apps. There are not much difference in both, whether I will say hybrid application or I will say a native application, because as a user, when you see your mobile, you will see 100 of applications are there. You cannot recognize which application is using hybrid technology and which application using native technology, right? And so obviously hybrid applications are essentially native apps. I'll tell you how in a next slide. And also they are downloaded from a platform's app store like Google Play Store or application Apple App Store Marketplace, right? And access the same native features. When we say native features, right? When we say native features, it means what is the native features like camera, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. All these access is called native features of mobile, right? You have camera inbuilt, you have Wi-Fi inbuilt, right? All those things. And hardware-based performance acceleration as any app built with a native SDK. Okay. So hybrid apps runs in a full screen browser called a web view. So when you see a mobile application, your application is running something like this. It takes full screen, right? And in native development or when you create a Android or iOS application, basically in their SDK, software development kit that I'm talking about, in their SDK, there is a web view component. Okay. They run a web view component in full screen browser. And in this web view, basically your application will run your HTML, CSS or JavaScript code. How? I will tell you in the next slide. So another thing is, I was talking about hybrid and native. Basically, I will discuss more in the next slide about hybrid and native. Basically, when we say hybrid application, it takes your web technology. You create hybrid application using web technology such as HTML, CSS and JavaScript basically. And when we say native application, so native application basically takes a native language. Like for Android, we use Java or Kotlin programming language. And when we say iOS native development, for iOS native development, we use basically Swift or Objective-C. So Objective-C nowadays people are not using, or else if they are using also, they use to create library and all, right? So basically Swift you have to use for native development. But when we say hybrid, it's used normally HTML, CSS and JavaScript plus any other UI framework. So why we will go to hybrid? So what is the difference? One is speed. So building for multiple platforms from one code base often makes delivering cross-platform apps 2 to 3 times faster than native. So obviously when you create a hybrid application, it will be faster. Why? Because you have to maintain a single code base. You will create an application, same code you can use to create Android application, same code base you can use to create iOS application, and same code base you can use to create a desktop application as well. And same code you can use to create progressive web app, and same code you can use to create a website as well. So, and when you come to native, you have to write separate code for each platform, right? Just let me put my laptop in charge. Okay, so this is a speed of development I was talking about. Next is efficiency. Again, Forrester is another publishers that estimates that hybrid can save an organization between 75 to 80% in support and porting cost compared to native. I'm talking about porting cost, right? Porting cost, it means like when we, after sometimes, after 6 months, after 1 year or 2 year, when platform will change, you have to change your code base. So that time, you will feel like native development again. You have to hire the specialized developer or in costly native developers. They will recreate your application again. But when you talk about hybrid development, so in hybrid development, if you see HTML, the last version of HTML means HTML4 has come around 14 years before, and currently we use HTML5. So this long gap, okay, we don't know when HTML6 will come. So it means you don't need to worry about, and for long term also you can use hybrid development, right? And next time also the porting cost will be less compared to native development. Okay. Another is omni-channel. Hybrid application can run anywhere the web runs, on a desktop, on a mobile browser, on a mobile application, or PWA, progressive web app, that I have shown you a example of Angular IO, right? Okay, so in last few slides I was talking about hybrid and native, hybrid and native. So what it is basically, why we say hybrid, we'll just see some comparison between hybrid and native. First we will see about hybrid mobile application. Okay, so in this section we will compare hybrid with native mobile app development, and first we'll see why hybrid mobile app, right? So first one is write once, run anywhere, right? With a hybrid framework, you can run your application on any platform or device, all from a single code base. That means your user get a great experience across platform and devices, and you only have one code base to worry about. Another point is use the talent you already have. The web developers community is around 30 times greater in size than the number of native mobile application developers. Many developers teams already have a deep bench of programmers who understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Why not leverage the talent you already have in-house to build your next mobile app? So we see in every company, they have at least the web developer teams, right? So we can leverage that web developer teams to create mobile application as well, right? Okay, so next point is deliver a great user experience across the platform. So user experience is not just about performance. Specifying app developer and consolidating a single code base means more than to add features, fewer defects, and more time to fix bugs that find their way though. Okay, so most importantly, a great UX means a consistent app experience, right? Add your users move between performance platform devices and mode of interaction, including mobile and desktop browser, and that you can achieve only by hybrid, right? That type of consistency you can achieve by hybrid development, right? Next is build for future. So why we are talking about hybrid? So this point is very important. Build for future. Basically, future application will be run on a growing number of diversity of platforms oriented around the web. Like you have seen smartwatches, IoT devices, and also communication between GPS in cars, asset tracking system, or portable medical devices, right? And thankfully, the web is the most widely used application runtime in the world. And hybrid application into this managed stream using a forward-looking development stack lays the groundwork. to you size the opportunity beyond the progressive web app. You can create progressive web app for all those things, right? So everywhere we can use all those things, right? So now we'll talk about native development. So basically native development having some benefits, like native development code is still faster. One is performance that I was talking about. Still faster when developers are looking to build demanding graphical applications such as games or other intensive animated application. Mobile browser are coming closer to bridge the gap for those type of application using WebGL, right, up specification. However, native is still have some advantage here. So what I'm talking is, one issue is performance, right? When you create a hybrid application, there will be some performance glitches, only somewhat, not more, right? Like when you create a application like PUBG mobile application, right? Most of you play PUBG application, right? PUBG game. So that time you need high performance, right? You have to create a native application for PUBG. If you will create a hybrid application for PUBG mobile application, then someone will start shooting you, and you will wait to the bullet will come to you, right? So that should not happen. So that's why high performing application you have to create in native application. But when you talk about a mobile banking application, so you have seen lots of mobile banking application or payment gateway application like Paytm or Flipkart or SBI YONO application or any mobile banking application. They don't need to be too faster. They can be slow. They can be slow 2 to 3 seconds, 4 seconds, even 5 seconds, right? When you make a transaction, you can wait 2 to 3 seconds, right? So those type of application normally people make in hybrid application. Okay. Another features in native application is no third-party dependency. So no or less dependency on third party. By building exclusively with a native toolset, developers are not bound to any third party to keep up with support, and there is no much of dependency on open source communication like Cordova or any other framework, right? So they are already using their own native features, and right, they have their own libraries and all, right? So they have already reached a native library, so they are not dependent on any other. When you talk about hybrid means Apache Cordova or any other framework, then that is dependent on third party library, right? They are dependent on a third party developer like you and me who create a library for them, and people around the world will use that library. Okay. But when you talk about native development, already the native company like Google for Android, Apple for iOS. So Google and Apple, they create library for their own SDK, right? So we can trust more in that. Okay. Download option is okay. Someone is asking, Saurabh Singh is asking, download option is not showing when I open in mobile. I think you are talking about the Angular IO, right? So if it's not showing, then just go to the 3 line or 3 bar will be there at the left side corner, top corner, and you can just add to home screen. Okay, both will do the same thing. Another question is, can you explain more about third-party dependency features? Yes, I'll talk about this. Basically, third-party dependency is like when you call a, like camera features. Camera is a like native features, right? When you create a native application, then you don't need to depend on third-party library. They have inbuilt features. They have inbuilt method. You can call that, and you can use camera in native application. But when you use Apache Cordova that we will talk about today, that time you have to find a library, you have to find a plugin basically, okay, camera plugin, and then using that plugin, you can use the camera. Suppose you have to use Bluetooth, you have to use Wi-Fi, you have to use NFC, you have to use any other native functionality that is in your mobile. you have to use plugin separately for all the features. Okay, and who create that plugins? That plugin is created by a developer like you and me. Okay, some other developers has been created. Okay, and we are totally dependent on that developers. If that developer will not update the plugins as per the latest features, then might be your application will stop working in near future. Okay, but we can trust in the Google and Apple for this type of application for a library, right? So these are the difference basically. Okay, next we will see some more difference between hybrid and native. Okay, so here you can see we will talk about few attributes, and we will talk about how it's happening in native approach and how it's happening in cross-platform or cross-platform means hybrid. Okay, so basically developer skill you need Objective-C. I have not written Swift here, but you can just consider Swift as well. Objective-C, Swift, and iOS SDK for iOS development, and for Android you need Java, Android SDK, and newly Kotlin. Okay, Kotlin programming language you need to learn. But when you talk about cross-platform hybrid development, then you have to learn only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you are good to go. But when you want to create an interactive application for enterprises level, then you have to use any UI framework such as Angular, React, or any other JavaScript framework. But still you are able to create a hybrid application using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. Another is distribution method. So distribution method is means where you can get those type of application to use. So native application you can only find from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. But when you talk about cross-platform hybrid application, you can find those from application store like Google Play Store or App Store, plus desktop browser or desktop app or mobile browser. Mobile browser means in your mobile there are lots of browser, right? Chrome browser, Mozilla browser, Opera browser, or UC browser as well. So I don't know, people are still using UC browser. And another is progressive web app. This progressive web app is you can deploy anywhere, like how you deploy a website. Basically you host a website somewhere, right, in cloud. Like that you can host your progressive web app somewhere in the cloud. So all these places you can get your hybrid application. Another is speed to develop. So when you create a native application, it will be very slow to develop because lots of native library you have to use, and you have, obviously, as I told you earlier, you need a highly specialized developer for that, and the development process will be slow. But hybrid you can develop fast because you have to write only one code base and it will be deployed everywhere, whether it's Android, iOS, web, progressive web app, desktop, everywhere. So obviously the development time will take less, right? Next is development cost. So obviously for native it will be higher, right? As I told, it will take lots of time as well, plus highly and or costly native developer as well, right? So you have to pay more for native development. But when you call about cross-platform application, the cost will be low because a normal web developer or a fresher as well can create a hybrid application. Maintenance cost. As I told earlier, also maintenance cost will be higher for native, and moderate or low maintenance cost will be for hybrid application. Graphical performance, I told you earlier, like I just gave you example of PUBG application, right? So performance will be very nice, very good, or high performance for native development, but it will be moderate. It won't be less, but it will be more moderate for hybrid development. Okay. But nowadays there are lots of nice UI frameworks are there which optimize the performance as well for hybrid as well. So hybrid also can be faster, right, as per the latest UI framework trends. Another is application performance. Okay, so application performance will be I told you higher will of native, Next is access to native functionality. I told you earlier, like we have full native library access for native, because all the library has been written in native language only. For Android, it's written in Java or maybe in Kotlin. But when you talk about hybrid, full native library we can access, but we have to dependent on third-party plugins. Okay, and that third-party plugin, basically they have written code in Kotlin for Android or Java for Android, and Swift and Objective-C for iOS, right? So we can call from JavaScript to the native language using that plugins. Okay. Another is UX consistency across the platform. Yes, obviously, because when you use web technology, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can make it responsive. And we have different type of mobile application or devices. Like nowadays, you have Android TV, so big screen. You have Android Watch, very small screen. You have mobile. You have tablet. You have devices in car. Okay, so different screen sizes are there. So when you talk about screen size or UX or UI, so it will be responsive in web technology. So it will be easier for developers as well. Okay, so now I believe if anyone having any question, please go ahead and ask in 2 minutes. So we will move to the next buzzword, and we will talk about PhoneGap, Apache Cordova, and Capacitor. Any question? Just take 2 minutes. Can talk as well, or you can chat also, no problem. Anything is fine.
It's 12 o'clock.
Okay, what is the maintenance requirement in the app development? It depends basically. Okay, when you talk about hybrid, then you have to check the latest version of, suppose if you're using Angular, then you have to check the latest version of Angular. Then you have to update in your application later on. When it will be updated Cordova, then you have to update Cordova. And sometimes performance issue will be there, then you have to manage the performance issue and all those things. Basically the version and suppose sometimes Apple or Google will change something in their operating system, like in Android or iOS, right? So you have to change your code according to that. Otherwise, what will happen? I think 4 years before or 5 years before, I have created an application, sample application for my purpose, for my blog. And after that I forget the key. Basically there will be a key, okay, and to deploy your application in Google Play Store, and I have forgot that key and I couldn't update that application. So what will happen? Google will watch your application, they will monitor your application, and they will ask you to upgrade the library. They will give you some time. If you will not upgrade the library, then they will remove your application. They will basically suspend your application. So they have suspended my application because I was not able to update that. So you have to update time to time your application, right? And there's not only these things, there are lots of things that you have to check actually. Basically the software. Okay, if any other question, then you can just write in chat. Later on, I will answer. Okay. So we'll talk about PhoneGap, Apache Cordova, and Capacitor. What it is, where it came from. Okay. So I believe you are brand new to Apache Cordova. right? You haven't heard about Adobe PhoneGap. And what about PhoneGap build? So this PhoneGap build, I'll just give you introduction, but recently, just 2 weeks before, Adobe has stopped supporting PhoneGap build. But just it's in slide and you should know what it is. I'll just give an introduction, but now this is deprecated PhoneGap build, right? But still I'll just give you introduction, so you will get a fair idea about it. Okay, so we'll talk about Apache Cordova, we'll talk about PhoneGap, we'll talk about PhoneGap build, and then we will talk about capacitor after that. So in 2009, PhoneGap project built by a startup called Nitobi. Nitobi was a startup company in Canada basically. Okay, so they have created this application, Adobe. After that, in 2011, Adobe bought Nitobi, and PhoneGap framework was donated to Apache Foundation. Apache Foundation is a foundation who works on open source project. Okay, and they have eventually renamed that PhoneGap framework to Apache Cordova. Okay, and basically this Cordova was the street name of this Nitobi office. Okay, in Canada, right? In Cordova Street, that office was built actually. So that's why when they have given this PhoneGap framework to Apache Foundation, they renamed it with Apache Cordova. Okay, so from that onward, we use Apache Cordova to build mobile application. Nowadays, it's open source project. Okay. And we'll talk about PhoneGap build. So currently it's deprecated just 10 days before. So we will not use, and after that no one will use this, but still you should understand what it was earlier when Adobe has given this PhoneGap to Apache Foundation to build Cordova, right? So basically this was like, it was having some paid services under the PhoneGap brand. Okay. Okay, so basically PhoneGap, Adobe has some paid services under the PhoneGap brand, and it was PhoneGap build. It was not free or open source. Okay, and PhoneGap CLI also was there, like we will download or install Cordova CLI right now, but when you will use PhoneGap, then they have CLI as well, and PhoneGap CLI has ability to utilize this service, PhoneGap build service, and you cannot use using Cordova CLI. Okay, and PhoneGap build was also part of Adobe Creative Cloud. When you are using any Adobe software like Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, or Adobe anything like that, only they were having this Adobe PhoneGap build in that. Okay. Okay, so now next we will talk about capacitor. So capacitor, basically, as you understand that Apache Cordova came from Adobe PhoneGap. Now capacitor also came after the Apache Cordova, right? So basically capacitor is also enable web developer to build iOS, Android and proxy web app with web technology in a single code base. And you can use lots of programming language, like this icon is for React, this is Angular, right? This is Vue.js, this is Stencil, okay, this is Bootstrap, this icon is for Ionic framework that we will talk about today, okay, and we'll talk about Angular, we'll talk about this one, Ionic, in later on in next session next week, like that we will talk about other framework as well. Okay, so basically this capacitor is also same as the Apache Cordova itself. Okay, but this is created by Ionic framework. Okay, the Ionic team has been created this capacitor. So now onward, when you will talk about React Native, sorry, not React Native, it's React. We will talk about the React.js when we will use this Ionic framework. Okay, where is pointer? Okay, so when we'll talk about the Ionic framework, we will use right now we will use Angular framework, and later on we will use React with Ionic. Okay, and when we'll use React with Ionic, then that time we have to use capacitor with that. Okay. So now we will take an overview of Apache Cordova. So that will go ahead with this. Okay. So this is the architecture of Apache Cordova basically. Okay. So this, you can see this is your Apache Cordova application where you write web application using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay. This is your web application that you write. Okay. So suppose this is your mobile application and you have a web view of this full screen in which you write code with HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and then you have you create a web app in web view. Okay, I hope this is clear. You create a web view. Inside web view you create a web application, and this web application will be created by HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and then this plugin and then the plugins. Okay, we use plugin with this web app, and this plugin will communicate basically with web view, and this web view will communicate with web app. Whenever you use any services like camera, or here you can say you have plugins for accelerometer, camera, devices, contact, storage, network, media or geolocation, anything. Or apart from this, you can create your custom plugin as well if you don't have any, right? So all plugin will communicate with the web view, and this web view will communicate with the web app. And then this web app will take that reference and they will show the image after taking image from camera, and the geolocation lat and long they will show in web app. Okay, and then you have a plugin, as I told you, right? All the plugin you can communicate with the web view, and that plugin will communicate basically with your mobile system. Okay, its service, sensors, graphics or any other input types. So this is the basically architecture of Apache Cordova, how it works. So what you have to do basically, you have to create a basic Cordova application using command. It will create a native application for you, and in the native application they will add automatically a web view for you and a web application sample hello world program for you. So all those things they will do for you, and what you have to do after that, you have to customize your web application, you have to customize your HTML, CSS and JavaScript as per your need, and then you have to you have to add plugin as your need, right? And then you can access the native features. So this is what you have to do in your application, right? And after that, the next stage will be, you can add platform for Android, for iOS, for browser, for desktop, any other platform you can add, and you can build application for that. Okay, so choose UI framework for Apache Cordova application. So basically there are lots of frameworks are there that I was talking about earlier as well. So apart from that, there are few more that we will talk about. And those are like Ionic, Onsen UI, Kendo UI, and React. Okay, so basically building a Cordova application that looks nice on mobile can be a challenge, right? So especially for developers, because Apache Cordova or PhoneGap doesn't provide any UI framework, as I told you earlier. So they gave you a basic HTML web application code. So many people choose to use a UI framework to make this easier. So here you can see the list of few, not all, right? Few of them. In that, one is Ionic. Ionic framework is free open source mobile UI toolkit for developing high quality cross-platform apps for native iOS, Android, and the web, all from a single code base. Another is Onsen UI. So basically, this is not much popular nowadays, and getting job is also difficult in that. Very less job is there in Onsen UI. And another is Kendo UI. Kendo UI having less job, but people use with .NET framework still. And in all four, you will see the Ionic framework and the React framework is most popular nowadays. And there is a huge demand for job as well. So another thing is now Ionic supports React, right? If you know React, then you can create application using React Native or React with Ionic. Okay. And when we talk about only Ionic, then you can use Angular framework, you can use React framework, you can use Vue framework with Ionic. Okay, so we will talk about Ionic. Okay, so and we'll talk about Ionic CLI framework 5. Okay, and currently if you'll see, then it came Ionic, basically Ionic CLI 6 or 7 based on the upgradation. You can see which CLI version you have. I think it's a 6 right now. Okay, Ionic is a most popular UI framework for hybrid application development, and current version is Ionic 5, and it supports Angular 10, the current version, React, and Vue.js. Okay, okay, so we will create one simple Ionic 5 application as well, and we will see how it works. Okay, I think we have one question, we'll take that. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp application of web app. Yes, all are web application. Basically, they have mobile application as well. Okay, and you can say that is a progressive web app. Okay, and Facebook is created using React basically. Instagram, I'm not sure. Okay, and WhatsApp also I'm not sure, but Facebook is created by React framework. Okay, and all are web app as well as the mobile application also. Okay, so next is when building your user interface, it is important to think about all platforms that you are targeting and the difference between the user's expectation. For example, an Android application that has a iOS style UI will probably not overall well with users. You will see that in Android phone you have a back button, but in iOS mobile iPhone you will not see the back button. So when you will create a user interface, when you will create a screen for your application, then you have to keep in mind that you have to give a back button in your mobile application. Okay, so it will be a seamless experience for Android user as well and for iOS user as well. Okay, so now we will create a simple application. Basically, we'll take one more question. Are they native or hybrid? Which one you are talking about? Are they hybrid or native? I think you are talking about this Facebook, okay, FB or WhatsApp. Basically, it's maybe Facebook mobile application should be native actually. Okay, and I'm not sure about that. It is native or hybrid, but Facebook or Instagram application should be native application. And the web application, the website you are opening for WhatsApp or Facebook, that will be web application. Okay. And what I know is like I'll just give few example that I have worked on, or I'll just write in chat only. Like you have SBI, I'll just see here in Google Play Store. See this application, SBI YONO. So this YONO application is created in Ionic framework. Okay, so that I know. And if you have DCB mobile banking application, this DCB mobile banking application that I have worked on, so this is also a hybrid application. And ICI mobile banking application, this is also a hybrid application. Okay, so this is also a hybrid application. So there are lots of hybrid applications are there. Okay, so you have a fair idea about what it is, right? What is a hybrid application, what is native application, and why we will go for hybrid and native. So right now what we will do is we will create a hybrid application, right? Just give me 2-minute break. I have one question, I think. Okay, just we'll take 2-minute break and we will continue. Okay, so what I will do is I will just, okay, we will create a Apache Cordova application. So what we'll do is here you can say, you can go to the Apache Cordova website. This is Apache Cordova website. I'll just write in chat, so you can just go through it. So this is what we will use, right? You can see here Apache Cordova is to create mobile application with HTML, CSS and JavaScript, right? So what you should do is okay, so I will just take so I will show you in Windows system. I think it's offline. Okay. Okay, so first thing what you have to do is you have to check it here, get started, right? So first thing you have to install the Apache Cordova, right? So before that you have to install Node, npm, right? Npm is a Node package manager. So I'll just show you here. This is Node.js. You have to download Node.js from here. Okay, I'll just give you all the step by step, and so you can do. First step is you have to download. I'll just write it here in notes. First step is you have to download Node.js. Okay, once you download Node.js, it will be come with npm inbuilt. Okay, and this npm will you cannot do this in phone. Basically you need a mobile, or you need SDK, basically software development kit, to create mobile application. Okay, so first you have to download Node.js. This Node.js will come with npm, right? So you have to download this from here or here. I'll just take this and I will copy and paste it here from this website, and then you can check it here, Node. Once you'll install it, Node version. So I have Node version 12.18.3, and this will come with npm inbuilt. You can check npm version as well. So I have npm version 6.14.6. okay, so next thing what you have to do is you have to install the Cordova. Now come to the Cordova application. So here you have to copy npm install -g Cordova, right? So you will just write down here npm, sorry, you have to write npm install -g Cordova. So it will work well with Windows user. If you are a MacBook user or a Ubuntu user, then you have to write sudo here, right? Sudo is for giving permission to modify your folders, right? Okay, so I have already installed. So you can just I'll just write it here. What next? Here you can just take this. Next you have to install Cordova, right? Another is third point is so I have Cordova. I'll just check Cordova version, Cordova -v. Okay, so I have Cordova 10.0.0 already. So next step is you can create a application. So what I will do is I will just another point is you need a editor, code editor. So what you will do with code editor, you should download Visual Studio Code. Just write Visual Studio, or you can write VS Code. Okay, this VS Code will editor. I have MacBook, you can download it for Windows or Linux, for anything. I have already downloaded, so here it is. I have already downloaded this, so you can download it. So next what you will do is I'll just go to desktop. So I don't have any folder in the desktop right now. I'll just clear the screen, and then we will create an application of Cordova application. So what we'll do is Cordova create my app, right? You can just write Cordova create my app or anything, my app. Don't give space in my app. So it will create an application for you. You can use Android Studio to open the Android project. Right now you are not creating any Android application, you are creating a Cordova project. Okay, after creating the Cordova project, we will add platform for Android and for iOS. Okay, and for that, we can use that Android code to open in Android Studio, and iOS code in iOS means Xcode. Okay, so here it is. So we have created one application in the desktop. We'll see ls. So here you can see my app application is there. So what you will do is go to my app, cd my app, and then once you have downloaded or installed Visual Studio Code Editor, then you can open that from your command line itself. So what you will do is you can just write code space and dot. So it will open in your Visual Studio Code. So this is Visual Studio Code, right? So here this is your project structure. I'll just I'll just increase the font. I hope it's visible to you all. So this is, you can see here, one is www folder, one is git ignore, one is config file, and one is package.json. Basically inside package.json, it's given all the information about your project. So my project name is io.cordova.hello-cordova. You can change it later, but this is not the place to change. I'll tell you where you will change, right? So this is the description. You can write about your application, what it is, what it does. You can manage the version from here. Okay, this package.json you have to use for automation purpose. Automation is, if you want to, you have created an application, you want to, there are lots of automation tool. You have heard about DevOps, right? So for that, if you're not heard about DevOps, then it's okay, you can ignore it. But automatically it will build, or it will generate any file if you want. For automation purpose we use, or we modify the package.json, right? This keeps your application information. Another is config.json. This is very important, where you can change the version later on. If you want to change the version, you can change version of your Cordova application. If you want to change the name of the application, you can change it here. Okay, and if you want to change the description, you can change here, right? So all those things. This is the author email. You can change your email with here, all those things, right? And here it will come the platform and plugin, all things. Whenever you will install, it will come listed here. Another is git ignore. You can ignore this because this is for GitHub. When you will put your code in GitHub, then they will ignore this type of files. Okay. Our main focus is www folder. So where you can see we have one CSS folder, one image folder, one JavaScript folder. Okay. So in the first is index.html. Index.html. This is the index.html file, right? This is the comment. Whenever you will see this green,
It's 12:30.
okay, all these are comments. You can ignore it. Here you will see you have one h1 tag, and inside h1 tag you have written Apache Cordova, and this will see. What I will do is, another thing is index.javascript JS, right? Where it will see the event or all those things. I will talk more in the next event. Okay, so just come back in the next event. We will discuss more about this. You have the basic fair idea of hybrid development or native development. We will use one by one all those things in deep way, right? So you can create your own application based on your choice or based on your options, what you can add. Okay. So what will happen if once this event will fire the on device AD? So this will show some commands or something like that. So this is the code, and all the JavaScript code you can write in JavaScript file. Apart from this is the logo will show, and this is the index.css file. Okay, so this index.css file, you can write all the CSS related to your code here. Okay, so you can modify. Right now I'm not modifying, I'll just run this code as it is. So that's it, you can do anything. Okay, now come to the here, what it is saying, you have to add a platform. So right now you can see you don't have any platform folder, right? You have a www folder, but you don't have any platform folder. So what you will do is, you will just copy this Cordova platform add browser. So what you will do, and yeah, when you have opened the Visual Studio Code, here is a terminal option. You can create a terminal here itself. You don't need to go this terminal or command line apart from this. You can use here itself. You can drag and drop up and down here. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll just write Cordova platform add browser. So they will add a code for browser. Okay, just let me see here what it will do. Cordova platform add browser, when you do, see here they have created a platform folder for you, right? In that they will create a browser folder here, right? In the same way, when you want to create a iOS platform, or you want to create application for iOS, then what you will do is, you will just write Cordova platform add iOS. So it will generate another folder and it will write the native code for iOS in that. So here you can see you have two folders, one is browser folder and one is iOS folder, right? If you want to add Android platform, if you want to write code for Android with the same HTML code, what you'll do is you will write Cordova platform add Android. So it will add Android. Here you can see it will add Android folder, right? So the question someone asked, who asked this question? Okay, Ojas Saran. Okay, he asked, can we use Android Studio instead of Visual Studio Code? So here you can see you have three type of code base right now. One is for Android, one is for browser, one is for iOS. So now this Android code is basically native code. They have generated this Android code. You can import in Android Studio now. Okay, and this iOS code will be open in Xcode. So what I'll do is I will open this iOS code in our Xcode. So this is my desktop, this is my application, my app. Here inside you have lots of folders that I was talking about. This npm module is nothing but it is auto-generated folder where they will keep all the library and generated file in the node modules. You don't need to do anything with this, right? So this is our platform folder. So where you have added this type of folder. So what I will do is I will first run this Cordova run browser. So let's see what happens. Cordova run browser. So what it will do? So here it is. This is your first application. Okay, a browser application. You can see this is the first application, and if you want to change, you can change in the index.html. Go to the www. Okay, go to the www folder. Go to index.html, and place of Apache Cordova, I'll just write Instill Learning and we'll save it. Okay, and you can save manually, or here you can do auto save. Here go to file, auto save. Whenever you will write anything, it will change. It will save for you. Here you can say, and you will refresh it here. Okay, so what is happening? I'm refreshing, but it's not reflecting here. So what I will do is, okay, so I don't want to, I don't want to close this terminal. So what I'll do is I will just create another terminal. So here there is a plus option. You can click on this. It will create another terminal for you. Here you can see you are in the My App folder right now. What you have to do is you have to write Cordova prepare. So once you write Cordova prepare, what it will do, it will take entire code from this www folder and it will distribute among all the platforms for Android, for browser, for iOS. Okay, so they have distributed among all the folders. Okay, so I will refresh it here now. So I have refreshed and it's came here, right? Instill Learning. So right now, if you know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, then just go ahead and change code according to you. Change the just keep two things in index.html, this cordova.js, okay, and this index.js reference of this JavaScript file. Okay, apart from that, you can change anything inside the body tag and change anything here and change anything in index.html. Play around it. If you know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, then let's see how it will be, right? So you have created your first application that is for browser. So it means that this code base will work to create a website, right? So this is a sample website we have created, right, with less code. Okay, it's opening in this one. Now I will create a iOS application with this. So what I will do is go to your platform folder, go to your iOS folder. Here you will see lots of folders in the iOS folder, right? So here, this one I'm talking about. Go to iOS folder. Here there are lots of folders. Okay, same thing I have opened in the folder explorer, right? So how I went there? Go to My App, the project, inside platforms, inside iOS. Inside iOS, you will see lots of folder. Inside that, you will see one is hello Cordova.xcode project. Once you will double tap, then this code base will open in Xcode. So what I'll do is, I have already Xcode. So if you don't have, then you can just check it here. Go to here, this icon you can see, this is a this is a app store. So inside app store you can see that you can find, if you have new MacBook, then you can just find Xcode, and here Xcode is there. I have already downloaded or installed. If you don't have, you can do that, but right now I have. So here I will just double tap to this, double tap. So here at the bottom you can see Xcode is opening. Okay, okay, if you have any question, any doubt, please go ahead and ask any doubt. Sir, I am unable to understand the purpose of Node.js. It is a UI framework or it is any other type of framework? Okay, so very nice question. Okay, if you have any such type of question, please come and ask. Okay, what is Node.js? So I'll just open Node.js website and I will read along with you. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. Okay, basically that where I can I use any white? Okay, fine. So basically when we talk about web application basically we use mainly three languages: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Where HTML we use to create a skeleton, a structure of the website. Okay, CSS we use to modify the look and feel. We design in CSS, okay, how it will look like. JavaScript we use to interact with users. We give any event on that. What will happen if suppose we have created a button, we create in HTML, how that button will look like? We decide in CSS, we give look, feel, it will look like blue, green, rounded button or rectangular button, which type of button it will be. We do in CSS. But what will happen after clicking on that button? We decide in JavaScript. And JavaScript, when JavaScript came, basically it came for web application. Okay, the funny thing about JavaScript I'll just talk about. The creator of JavaScript was a guy. Okay, I will continue our talk. Before that, I'll just run this application in iOS. So this is the Xcode. Our project has been opened in Xcode, right? So here, what you have to do is, we will check this Hello Cordova, and you can see here the list of all the iPhones are there. So where you want to run. Okay, I will just run in iPhone 8 or iPhone SE, anything you can. I'll just run iPhone SE, no problem. Here is a play button. Just click on the play button. So you will see here there will be building Hello Cordova. Okay, 83 tasks. It's getting built. After build, they will launch the simulator. What is simulator? Simulator is nothing but a virtual device or virtual iOS device. Okay, so here you can see they are opening iPhone. Okay, so let it be and let's run the application. So now we will continue our JavaScript talk. The creator of JavaScript, basically that time the programming language Java was very popular. Okay, so they decided when they created the language JavaScript, the initial name was LiveScript. Okay, so it was not popular, it was very new. So they decided I will keep name like Java, so people will see what it is. Okay, in our society what we do is someone is name is is like Dhoni, and Dhoni is popular. So what do? We keep our kids' name like Dhoni. Okay, so we follow the things because he is popular. So in that way, Java was very popular, and the creator of LiveScript, they renamed their script with LiveScript to JavaScript. So but that time there was no relation between Java and JavaScript. Both are different things. But to make popular their script, they keep name JavaScript. Okay. So after that, that JavaScript framework has given again to a ECMA Foundation. How Apache Cordova was given, Adobe PhoneGap was given to Apache Foundation. Like that, JavaScript has given to the ECMA Foundation. Okay, after that, they came up with new programming language, ECMAScript. So now when you heard about ECMAScript, you understand that is a JavaScript, nothing but a JavaScript. Okay, the latest version of JavaScript. Okay, so ECMAScript or ES6 all are JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript was mainly created for the web developer or front end. When we say front end, means the website that you look, you see. But when we say backend, means database related things, server related things, right? So JavaScript has created for the front end side. But later on, when JavaScript become young or JavaScript become matured, then they come up with another JavaScript framework that is called Node.js. So Node.js is now we use for backend purpose. We create server side code and we connect with the database, or all those things we do with JavaScript. Now you can say we use JavaScript for both, for front end and for backend as well. Okay, so when we say front end, then we have lots of JavaScript framework like Angular, React, Vue.js, Backbone.js, Node.js. Lots of 100 JavaScript frameworks are there for front end. But when we say for backend, we have Node.js for backend. Okay, so now inside the Node.js, there is a one npm things, right? Npm. Okay, when you say npm, this npm is a node package manager. Inside Node.js, there is a package manager who manage all the package. Okay, so basically we don't use to Node.js, we have to use npm to download, to install, to use Cordova, right? Like we install Cordova, npm install Cordova, so we use npm. And to use npm, you have to install Node.js. That's it. You don't need to do much with Node.js. I hope this is clear, right? In the npm, all things are inside the Node npm. You can see the package here. Okay, any package, if you want to search Ionic, you will get Ionic as well here. Ionic Angular, all those things, all are package, right? So you have to install all package using npm. Fine. Okay, so apart from this, you don't need to do anything with Node or npm right now. Maybe later on when you will create a server or database, you will connect with your application, you can use that. Okay, so fine. As you can see that we have imported the application in code in Xcode, and we are running, and this is your iPhone application, and in iPhone also it's running, right? Fine. In the same way, if you have Android Studio, you can open Android Studio. I'll just show you how you can okay, I'll just give you one. See this, everyone. How you can create a application using Apache Cordova CLI. Okay, I have written a small blog long back. You can just go through it. Okay, and check that what you need, the prerequisite, how you can create a new Cordova application, how you can add platform. You can add Cordova platform, add Android, and this latest is not mandatory. You can give if you want the latest. Okay, but not manually. Just you can write Cordova platform at Android. If you want to give any plugins, you can just add Cordova plugin device. Okay, so just go through it, create the application, send me WhatsApp. Okay, and create an application. It will give you device information of your application like this. Cordova version, which version you are using. Suppose you are using Cordova 10, it will show device model. If you will run this application in your mobile application, it will show you the platform, Android, UID, Android version, manufacturer, all those things. It will give the information you can fetch, right? All code is there. Just go through this blog and you can see this. Okay, and if you come to the Android Studio, what you will do is, so you, since you have already a Android project, so what you will do, here you will see open existing Android Studio project, right? Click on that, go to your desktop, my app, platforms, Android. Select this Android and open. This will open the project in Android Studio. But since you all are using Windows, so I will not recommend you to open Android Studio and open all those things in Android Studio. Okay, because might be your system can be slow and most of you will have 4 GB RAM in that. So what you will do is, don't go with this way. From here itself you can I'll just clear the screen. I'll just make it more. Okay, so here let it open in Android Studio. Okay, and I will come to the okay, so since I have created an iOS application, what I will do, I will just create a plugin here. I'll just run this plugin, so you can see at least one application in iPhone or Xcode. Okay, later on you can try with Android. So what I will do is, I will just add this plugin. So what will happen inside the plugin folder, these two plugin, one plugin is there, Cordova plugin whitelist. This is already inbuilt, they will come, but now they will add one more plugin, Cordova plugin device. So this one, right? So it's added. So now next what I will do is, I will modify the code. So what I will do is, first I will go to the HTML. I will just copy this HTML code and I will put in our HTML. And I will copy the JavaScript code here and I will put in our JavaScript code. So you can look into this, you can modify as per your need. Okay, and what else? Nothing, right? So what I will do, as I told you, then you have to write Cordova prepare. So what will happen after Cordova prepare? They will distribute your code with all the platforms. So what you will do is, Cordova prepare, right? Prepare. So once you'll do the Cordova prepare, then we'll see how it will do in Xcode. Okay, so Cordova prepare is done. We will open the Xcode and we'll stop the running application. Here you will see application is stopped running. Okay, and what I will do is, I will just open at iPhone here. Okay, and then I will just run it again. So here you can see the application is running now. Here it is. So you can see that you are using, okay, in that code we are using Cordova 6.1.1. Okay, but now Cordova is 10. So I have not updated the code. So you can update the code later on, no issue. Okay, so this is Cordova version. So from where it came. Come to this. When you will write Cordova platform ls, it will give you all the, so here it is. iOS you have 6.1.1. Okay, so same thing you can see here. Cordova version for iOS is 6.1.1, and this iPhone I have taken 12. Okay, and platform is iOS. The UID for this device is this, and Android, this is not, manufacturer is Apple. Virtual, this is virtual device, this is not real device, and so there will not be a serial number. Okay, so I hope it's clear now. And when you come to the Android Studio, everything is there is two processes running. So one, it will run, you can connect your mobile device and you can play this button here. Okay, since we are running out of time, we have 5 more minutes. After that this session will close, okay, automatically. So within 4 minutes I'll just tell you a few more things. You can just give a try. Okay, and if you are not able to do in Android, you can do at least in browser. Okay, you can do at least in the browser. And here you can see the browser information also I got. Cordova for browser is 6, device model is Chrome, platform browser, UID, all those things. At least do this and send me a screenshot in my WhatsApp. Okay, and the automatic mail you will get mail with few questions. After this you will get 10 questions. In that you have to fill that form with that question. Okay, and attach the screenshot if you have done anything. Okay, and someone who has done this all, they will answer all these 10 questions. They will get at least few online courses of worth 2000. Okay, and any question, you can just come with the question. You can ask all question here. I cannot see any question. Today we'll finish session here itself because it will close in next couple of minutes. But next week we will come with Ionic framework. So we couldn't finish Ionic framework today. That is very important, and there are huge demand. And another thing, I was talking about the job marketplace. When you find a hybrid mobile application developer job, then you will find lots of jobs are there. Okay, so even if you'll find in Naukri.com, you can see here you have hybrid app developer, lots of hybrid app developers are there. Even someone is asking for Flutter as well. We'll talk every week something new. Okay, just I will share the forms, fill that forms, give me back the forms. Here is my mobile number. Okay, just send me hi and ask your doubt anytime. Any question, you can come up with that. Okay.
Well,
okay, so here you will see when you'll open in Android Studio, you will get a few things. Huge recommended and started, updated. You can do that things and you can run. Okay. Any question, please come with the questions. In next session we will talk about Ionic framework. This is the Ionic framework. Okay, where you can run with React, you can run with Angular, anything. So there are huge market job demand are there for this. Okay, how you can do, but before that you have to understand the basic things, right? How to create an application in Apache Cordova. Okay, next we will do the same session. At the same time we will talk about a few things in native development. When you talk about native development, then you can find it here. Android developer. Android developers. So from here you have to learn the Android native things. Okay, and if you are a beginner, it's quite difficult to get started with this. Okay, So stay tuned. Again, join next week at the same time. We'll go more deep into that. Okay. So
Hello, Gaurav sir.
in Android, they will be ask you to download and update all the plugins, all the things. So it takes time basically. Once it will done, you can run the code.
Well, it was a great learning. Gaurav sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Basically, I was using the different mic, so that's why I was not able to hear it.
Okay, anyway. I'm really very thankful to you to give such an impactful lectures to the students. I truly believe that this was a great learning for the students. Thank you so much. And dear participants, if you are having any follow-up questions, please ask right now or email it to me or Gaurav sir, and I'll forward it to him. So this is the question answer session. If anybody is having any questions, please ask. Otherwise, we will end the session.
So in Android, you can see we have to download again this system image of Android 9.29. Okay, so again it will take time. So it will work in the same way. So later on we will.
It's 1 o'clock.
So later on we will do all those things, right? So as of now, you can see. Okay, what we will do is you can just do in browser. Okay, for learning purpose. Okay, fine. Thanks for joining everyone. If you have any doubt, you can just ask Anamika ma'am or me. You can WhatsApp me, you can mail me, you can do anything. Okay, or
Sir, next week we will have another session. This time only, na?
yes, this time only we will have next session, and we will continue from here itself, and we'll talk about more on Android. And I will talk more on Windows system, since I understand most of you are using Windows laptop or desktop, and you will face issues and how you can do all the installation. Just do some brainstorming by yourself this week. Okay, and we'll talk more next week on the same things. Okay, and we'll do.
So they will get the.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, they will get the intimation by mail, or we have to intimate separately.
They will get mail as well, and you can do separately as well. Okay.
Okay.
They will get mail about those things, and we'll ask a few questions. Everyone should reply to that question, so they can get any free gift voucher of online learning. Okay. All learning will be the job-oriented learning. Okay. So.
Yeah. So dear participants, just go for the questions. It's a great opportunity for all of you, and you are earning by learning as well.
Yeah, today in a few hours till evening you will get mail with all the questions, right?
Right, sir.
Okay. Thank you for joining. And,
okay, so this is the end.
Arranging the session, and thank you Principal ma'am or HOD ma'am both. Everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. We are privileged that you came here and given very good, very informative lecture. And I, on behalf of Kalgotia College of Engineering and Technology, thank you so much.